Alright, I'm going to get started weathering this car. North Dakota Mill CEFX pressurized cover hopper. Really nice model. Amazing detail underneath with all the rigging and piping. The etched metal walkways. It's really nice. So I've been doing a little bit of research, just trying to find a couple reference photos. This is a different road number, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to go that prototypical. I'm going to kind of do my own weathering on them. This first car, I'm going to try to do some graffiti, use some decals, which I've had pretty good luck with in the past. So maybe one side I'll do a couple graffiti decals in case they don't turn out. I could always turn the car around. But I did notice one thing. The model, or the car, even according to this photo, the rigging, the piping is mostly on one side. So in this picture here, with the graffiti going all the way down to the bottom, there's little, see if I could zoom in here, there's some piping detail along the bottom, so I think it'll be easier to use the decal on this side where there is no piping on this side. So I'll give that a try. So I'll do maybe a little time lapse of the whole process. It'll be probably over the next day or two, as these decals need some time to dry fully before adding the clear on top of them. So anyway, let's get started. Alright guys, here's the finished product, or somewhat finished. I decided to try two different methods, or two different styles of weathering. One with the heavy graffiti and some runoff of maybe some flour that got on the top there, and then the rain kind of washed it down, using that streaking method. The graffiti using the decals, which usually I have pretty good luck with, but in this case, this one right here kind of lifted a bit, so I have to be very careful not to rip it. But it's hard to see. It's at the bottom of this curve here, so you won't really see it. So it's good enough. But obviously, the best is if you can hand paint it, which I just don't have the patience for. So the decals work pretty good. I think I probably could have hit it with the micro sol maybe a few more times and let it really soak onto the car, but oh well. The other side, with the kind of the damage scraping here, which I really like that look. I think it looks great. And then the heavy streaking using the oil paints and you could use turpentine or odorless mineral spirits. I kind of like that the best. It's not as intense. It doesn't affect, I haven't had it affect any of the clear coats that I put on or any of the decals in that matter. So the technique is very easy. As you saw, I kind of go first with acrylic paints. So these splotches here, using the sponge and the heavy dark burnt umber acrylic paints, just to get that really dark look. And then I come back once it's dried. You could hit it with a hair dryer and it dries pretty quick. But then I come back with the oil paints, the burnt sienna, which is more of a lighter rust, which looks great when it streaks, in my opinion. But yeah, it's really easy to get carried away with it, so it kind of looks better if you just, depending on if you find prototype photos. Some cars are just completely rusted out, but I really like the look of just some light light damage and some streaking. Looks pretty cool. So I wanted to show you guys that. As far as all the materials I used, I tried to show you guys along the way. If not, I probably put it in the description or on the screen as I use them. But there's so many different ways. You can use cheap paints. It doesn't really need to be anything crazy. I just have a lot of, I don't want to say quality paints, but I've got some better paints just because I used to be into art a lot. So I've got some paint laying around. And then also, models, model airplanes and cars and stuff. So I've got different types of paint. I used a clear in the beginning, a flat clear. I just have a lot of that stuff left over. That Mr. Color, it's more used in model planes and everything, but really good quality stuff. But you could just use dull coat. Dull coat works just as fine, just as good. Just to take away the shine and to cover up any, I wanted to cover up those decals so nothing ruined them. I wasn't sure how the turpentine would take to them, but it didn't affect it at all. So powders, I used the pan pastels. These are great. You can use pan pastels. You could use the AIM weathering powders, which I have a lot of those as well. But I think the pan pastels, in my opinion, they seem to stick a little better. I like using the AIM powders to mix with alcohol for kind of different washes and stuff that work great for that. So kind of my main colors, I use burnt sienna just to highlight some of the darker rust spots. What is this? Raw umber. This is good. I kind of model the winter, so everything's kind of like that dark grungy weathering. So I think at the bottom it looks good. I hit it with the rail tie brown. That's just my color of choice with weathering the grime underneath cars and locomotives and stuff. But another one that I use a lot is this neutral gray. This is great just to dull down some really any color of a rail car. But yeah, so I got these. I've got other colors as well. I just don't use them as much. I also use those Monroe or the Monroe Models weathering solutions here. I just tried a few spots. I used like on the coupler here, and I really like this stuff. Again, it reminds me of it's basically just the weathering powders, I think suspended in alcohol, which works great. So I'll be using these a lot. I've got a few colors to try. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I've been wanting to do a weathering video for a while. Again, I just try different things. I watch so many YouTube videos, and there's a million ways to weather. It's just what works for you, and just try it. I mean, I would have never gotten to this level, which isn't much, but it looks pretty good. Just by trying stuff, get a car that's maybe not so much a value to you, and just experiment and try different techniques and see what you like the best. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed that. This one will look pretty good. I'll probably end up doing these other ones as well. Maybe not so grimy. I just wanted to kind of showcase some of the techniques that I use on this car. So anyway, guys, until next time, thanks for watching.